A special case of angles is if the angle has its terminal side along a quadrant. We call those quadrant angles. So if it's a 0-degree angle, what I want you to notice is x equals r and y equals 0. If it's a 90-degree angle or pi over 2 radians, x would equal 0 and y would equal r. If it's pi or 180 degrees, x equals negative r and y equals 0. And if you have a 3 pi over 2 radians or 270 degrees, x equals 0 and y equals negative r. Then we can use those angles. So for example, we're supposed to find the cosine of pi. Well, pi is our angle right here. X equals negative r and y equals 0. So if you're doing the cosine of pi, cosine, remember, is x over r. But x is negative r, and r is still r. So you get cosine of pi is going to be negative 1. Tangent of 450 degrees. Notice 450 is bigger than 360. So I'm going to take 450 minus 360. That'll be coterminal. So I'm really finding a 90-degree angle. So I'm really finding the tangent of 90 degrees. Well, if we look at our 90 degrees, that's x is 0 and y is r. Since we're doing tangent, that's y over r. Try that again, y over x for tangent. So the tangent of 90 degrees is going to be r over 0. You can't divide by 0, so the tangent of 90 degrees is undefined. Let's look at the cotangent of 7 pi over 2. That is bigger than 2 pi, isn't it? So I'm going to subtract 2 pi from 7 pi over 2. So 7 pi over 2 minus 2 pi, well, that'll be over 2. So it'll be 7 pi minus 4 pi, which is 3 pi over 2. So I'm really finding the cotangent of 3 pi over 2. Well, when you're doing the cotangent of 3 pi over 2, x is 0 and y is negative r. Well, cotangent is y is x over y. So the cotangent of 3 pi over 2 is going to be 0 over y, which is 0. So the cotangent of 3 pi over 2 is 0. Now if we look at our reference angles, I kind of alluded to that in the last question, but we'll take a little bit more specific. Anytime you're finding an angle, the angle is going to have the same sine, cosine, and tangent as the reference angle. The reference angle is the angle from the x-axis. So if you're in the second quadrant, the reference angle is going to be the difference between your negative x-axis and your angle. If you're in the third quadrant, it'll be the difference between the x-axis and the terminal side of your angle. If you're in the fourth quadrant, it'll be the difference between your positive x-axis and your terminal side. So let's take a look here. I want to sketch a negative 150 degree angle. So let's go ahead and do that. So negative 150 degrees would be right there, wouldn't it? So here is negative 150 degrees. What is this angle right here? Our reference angle, which we usually designate with theta prime. So theta prime, what would bring me back to negative 180? Well, that would be 30 degrees. And that's your reference angle. Let's take a look at 3 pi over 4. Well, I know here's pi over 2. Here's pi, so I know it's between pi over 2 and pi. So here's 3 pi over 4. What do you have to add to 3 pi over 4 to get to pi? Well, theta primed is going to be pi over 4 because that'll take me to pi.